So, Karl, with regards to robot and cobot technology, and during this time of confusion in our economy, and what if I had to send a lot of my staff home? How could Iris or anybody else come in and help implement quickly cobotic technology to my shop floor?
Yeah, so cobots are really predicated on eliminating barriers, and that could mean either physically. It means both, not either. It means physically removing safety caging, because these technologies have embedded force and torque sensing. They're speed limited, right? So you're eliminating that requirement pending an appropriate safety assessment for that hard guarding to make sure people don't get hurt, right?
Right.
So there's that barrier that we're eliminating. We're also eliminating the barrier of barrier to entry for adopting a new technology.
So, and that's probably the one that most applies to this situation, because if you don't have people in your shop because you had to send them home, you don't need to worry about a robot slamming into them because he's not there in the first place.
That's exactly right. And the great things about cobots is they're attainable at a price point, both to an end user or, in our cases, for systems integrators like us, that was previously unforeseen. So for a typical robotic cell, where you may be, for a small company, biting off a loan for $300,000-$400,000, it's a big pill to swallow. When it's $100,000, $200,000, then you're talking, maybe we're cooking with gas there. So, that we talked about eliminating the barrier to entry on the controls side of things is the way the cobots have done that, and namely, we've hitched our wagon to the Universal Robots Post is a programming interface, is especially intuitive. And so for us as a systems integrator, rather than having to do programming and debug for 3 to 4 weeks at a time, maybe it's done for 3 days, 5 days, a week, something like that.
That's quick.
Which translates into dollars for you.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
And that's part of the data collection aspect too. So like I'm sure you have to analyze how they're doing it. Like you would go into car shop and be like, okay, here's how you're running this manually without automation. Here's what it would cost to invest in automation. And then what do you do? I mean, how do you prove out ROI, or do you have some sort of calculator that you use? Or
Yeah. There's a pretty straightforward ROI calculation where it's generally speaking, it's going to be direct labor, right? Your direct labor dollars versus what your hardware investment is.
Right.
When you're talking about,
it's pretty easy, I would say.
Yeah. When you're talking about cobots, there are some, I don't know if altruistic's the right term for it, but when you talk about safety or ergo dollars, right? Are people doing something dull, dirty, and dangerous where there's risk associated with that? So maybe you have an injury history at the company where you actually paid out on claims, right? And then there's the efficiency side of things. So that efficiency is a little bit more fuzzy, where you say, did my guy check his phone to check on who, the Bears just traded for or whatever, and he could have put another part into the chuck or whatever. That's a little fuzzier.
Yes, exactly.
But it's generally speaking, it's pretty straightforward. It's just labor against investment.
Interesting.
Well, you can also calculate 80% efficiency too. If they're putting in 10 hours a day, they're actually getting 80% efficiently. And then, the cobot, the robot is going to run at 100% efficiency, right?
That's right.
So
yeah, absolutely.
Right then and there's 20% gain. So...
Yep, and there's good data points too. So we do robotics, we do inspection, so that could be laser profiling, it could be 2D area scan. But if there's a subjective aspect to a quality inspection process, there's data points that you can find. You can do some Google searches where people are only finding 12% of what they're supposed to be able to be finding, right? So what you may end up finding is something is broken with your process. Sure. Right. So,
well, you just mentioned that. I'm glad you brought that up, because earlier you were saying, there's a silver lining to this situation because we have the opportunity to do some house cleaning and look at our processes and see where we can improve things. And that's exactly where the manufacturing leader can look right now. Right now, with maybe they send some people home, maybe they're a little bit slow. They have the opportunity to take the time to really take that next step and say, okay, I'm getting a break right now. It's forced on us. We have to take a break. But while I have this break, I can make a continuous improvement initiative toward cobotics or robotics, and they can start reaching out right now and set up that WebEx or that go-to meeting with whoever.
Yeah, a lot of stuff can be done remote. People have... you have tolerances, you have drawings of your parts, right? You have cycle times, you have all that kind of stuff. You can send over G codes for people to kind of take a look at, and what kind of hooks do I have here or there.
Question, is the technology, is it advanced nowadays where you can do remote robotic programming? So could I sit at home in my kitchen, at my kitchen table on a Sunday and remotely control that cobot in my shop on my shop floor?
Yeah,
that technology is available nowadays.
It is.
Now that's exciting.
It is to a varying degree,
Right.
And your comfort level with actually getting into the weeds and some of the controls and signaling and all that kind of stuff. But there are some even off the rack products that are really pretty cool. Robotique makes a really cool insights platform.
I know
that
them.
gives you visibility into real time, machine OEE and all that kind of good stuff. So. Lots of stuff that's custom, lots of stuff that's off the rack. I mean, we're kind of in a golden age of really cool technology. It's why I get excited every day to go into work.